everyone, welcome back to the Davis Family Channel. Today me and Ziah wanted to talk about our birth story. It was definitely an experience given that it was in the middle of COVID happening. So I just kind of wanted to talk about my experience. I didn't film the whole thing. I wanted to, but it just didn't happen in the moment. You know, there was so much going on. That was like the last thing on my mind. But I do have a bunch of clips that I'm going to insert throughout the video as I'm going through like the sequence of events. So I hope you guys can, you know, if you're pregnant and seeing what birth is going to be like, I hope this can shed some light. Or if you're like me, before I was pregnant, I used to love watching these videos. So I was scheduled to be induced because all of my doctors were telling me that she was going to be this huge baby. So I was induced at 39 weeks. So we went into the hospital at around 9 a.m. January 12th.
Yeah.
12:46 p.m. We're on our way to the hospital. What do you have to say? How are you feeling?
I don't know. How are you feeling? You're the one that's going to be doing the pushing.
I'm scared. Now we're on our way to the hospital. So, let you know how this goes. Peace out. From there we checked in and it was a really slow kind of start. It was just nurses coming in, taking my blood, inserting the IV so that they can give me fluids and any medications throughout the process. They like do a COVID test. So they do the deep one, which I was like praying it was just one of the easy swabs at the tip of your nose, but no, it was like the one that goes all the way back to your brain. And I was so scared for it because I hadn't had a full-on like back of the brain COVID test. And I'm like, why do they have to COVID test me and not my boyfriend? Like, I already have to push a human out of my vagina. Like, why am I the one that's getting COVID tested, you know?
Well, just got to the hospital. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but yeah, this is where we're going to be staying for the next, who knows how long. But it's so weird with the thing being on top of the camera. How do you angle yourself? But anyways, this is what she is doing. Can you see yourself?
Yeah. I can't put myself
Oh yeah? What if I don't want to tie the top?
Yeah, can you tie the top?
I don't think I should help you. No, okay, I'll help you.
They started off with, to induce the labor, they started off with a Foley balloon, which is basically just this like stick that they put in and there's like a little circle at the end and it slowly gets bigger, it expands to dilate you further. So they did that and like literally, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes after putting it in, my water broke on its own. Update. We're in the hospital. This light really sucks. That still really sucks. We're here. Just got a COVID test. Really hurt. And now I'm gonna get a balloon put in me, which is really fun. So yeah, we'll update later. It's currently 4:50 p.m. They put the balloon in. That did not last very long. My water broke on its own, which is great. So now we're sitting here waiting for Pitocin because I'm not having contractions where I can feel them. So we'll wait. He's bored. He just got scanned. And he's not interested in my video. But please note, he did just get scammed.
Yeah, I got scammed. That's what happens when you enter the world of entrepreneurs.
So we're just waiting for Pitocin. So now we wait. And I'll let you know what's happening. And it was crazy because I had no idea kind of like what to expect. And it literally felt like I was peeing myself. Like, it was insane. I was sitting on the bed and all of a sudden I felt like a pop and I was like, and just a gush, and I looked at my boyfriend and I was like, I'm pretty sure my water just broke. The nurse was in the room and from my reaction she was like, yeah, your water definitely just broke. From there they had to test it to make sure it actually was my water because I don't know, sometimes I guess it's not. And they did a few tests, and actually the first 2 tests they did said it wasn't my water broken. And I was like, no, you guys, like, my water definitely broke. No, my water broke. And I was walking around just like dripping. So they finally did a 3rd test. I'm pretty sure they literally like scraped the liquid off the bathroom floor to test it, which is so gross, but it's what they did. And it was in fact my water breaking. So at that point they took out the Foley balloon that they had inserted, because they kind of assumed at this point that I would just progress naturally since my water had broken. I went into it not wanting any epidural. I wanted to do it natural. I was open to like other medications, but I didn't want to get an epidural. I was horrified of getting it in my back, and then second, I was worried about getting a catheter. I don't know why, it freaks me out. So from there they started me on Pitocin. Everybody talks about how Pitocin is like the devil, and like you start it and your contractions are going to get so bad that like you can't handle it. You're going to be like demanding an epidural. And for me that wasn't the case. They started Pitocin at a really low dose and were slowly upping it, and yeah, I was starting to get contractions. And I also might just be like, I don't know, brainwashed at this point. Like, after you give birth, you kind of forget the actual feeling. But, like, thinking back, I feel like it wasn't that bad. It was definitely not unbearable. I feel like I went in expecting it to be so painful, and it was definitely lower than what I expected. But regardless, I started having contractions. Okay, sorry, I just had to plug in my camera. I started to have contractions, and it was pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie, like, sitting in there. It's such a long process. I thought, okay, we'll be there for like 24 hours. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be done. No. So they started to increase my Pitocin because I was kind of not dilating from like a 3 centimeters. And this is when my contractions started to get a little more intense. I still didn't need an epidural, but they had offered, I think, morphine. And so they started me on morphine, which just makes you feel like really drunk almost. So I was really loopy. LOL, moment of silence for the moms who look amazing when they're in labor. That was not me. At this point, I feel like I kind of started to like lose my shit a little bit. So keep in mind, my water's broken at this time. I'm like leaking everywhere because I didn't know this, but when your water breaks, you like, it just keeps coming. Like, I thought it was like one big gush and then it was like all the liquid came out, but no, like it was like hours and hours of just feeling like you're peeing your pants. It was insane. But so it's like 7 or 8 p.m. and my boyfriend is like so bored. Definitely bring stuff to entertain yourself if you're giving birth. But he was bored, so I think he ended up going to sleep, and I just was hanging out, like watching, I forgot what I was watching, something on Netflix. And from there, like, it was like a waiting game. Keep in mind, my COVID test results still have not come back, so I'm like, what was even the point of that? Like, if I did have COVID, everybody else in this room would have done the same thing. It's the morning now, and I'm still stuck at like I think I was at a 4 at this point. So I had dilated like 1 more centimeter, but I had been stuck at a 4 like all night and all throughout the morning. And at this point, I was on fentanyl, I was on morphine, like I was so high, and I just remember we had been there 24 hours, so it must have been like 10 a.m. at this point. And I remember the doctor walking in, and she was like, okay, like your water has been broken for 24 hours. If you don't dilate in the next like 4 hours, then we're gonna have to do a C-section so that there's not a risk of infection. And I just started sobbing. Like, I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't even like ask them questions or talk because I was sobbing so uncontrollably. I probably looked so crazy, but like the last thing that I wanted was a C-section. I hadn't even thought about the possibility of having a C-section. It wasn't something I had planned for. It wasn't something that I knew anything about. And so I just started sobbing, and you know, I had the most amazing nurses. They were like my therapists. They were so kind. And I was like, I just want to take a shower. Because for me, like when I'm stressed or like anxious, I just shower. It's like my coping mechanism for some reason. And so she like, she helped me take a shower. I'm like butt naked in the bathroom with my nurse and just like sobbing in the shower. And she's just like, are you okay? Like, you're gonna be okay. Like, you're not gonna have a C-section. We're gonna like We're gonna get you dilated. It's gonna be okay. And I'm just like sobbing and I'm like, thank you so much. I love you. So I get out of the shower and I was like, all right, I feel so much better. I was like, let's strategize. Let's come up with a plan. Like, I'm gonna have this baby how I want it to have this baby. And you know, I didn't want to get an epidural, but I was like, if it's too painful, then I'll get the epidural. I didn't think about like, if I had to get a C-section or get an epidural, I'd get the epidural. But obviously that's what I did. So I talked to my nurses and I'm like, okay, like, I feel like if I get the epidural, I'm gonna relax. Like, my body is gonna relax. I feel like I was so tense because I was just going through these contractions, like, on my own, like, fully feeling them. They called in the anesthesiologist. She came in, like, I don't know, 2 minutes. She flew in there. Like, she was ready to give me this epidural, let me tell you. And I was so scared to get an epidural, and it was the easiest thing I've ever done. It was far easier than the COVID test that they gave me. So I was sitting on the bed, hunched over, and Isaiah, my boyfriend, was in front of me, like, holding my hands. And the nurse was there, like, cheering for me. She's like, you got it. Like, it's okay. You're not even going to feel it. And so they numb you first, and then they put the catheter. So it's actually a catheter that goes in your back. So it's like a tube, a little teeny tiny tube that goes in your back so that they can keep administering the actual, like, drug that's in the epidural. So you're, like, hunched over. So they put the epidural in, and I remember, like, it didn't, I forgot what side, but I couldn't feel, like, one side was numb and the other half of my body was not. So they kept kind of, like, having me roll side to side so that the medicine would, like, sink into the other side of my spine. And it took a really long time for me to go numb. And let me tell you, when I was numb, like, I was numb. I've never experienced, like, I had no idea, like, what kind of numb to expect, but, like, I could not, it was like the whole bottom half of my body was just, like, dead. It was, like, the weirdest feeling ever, but it was, like, a huge relief. I didn't feel any of my contractions after, like, 30 minutes after they gave me the epidural. I didn't feel anything. I was like, this is amazing. Why didn't I just get the epidural to begin with? And it was amazing. So then they came in and they had to do the catheter, which I was so scared about. But then, like, they did it, and I didn't feel anything because I was so numb. That's the thing. Like, I think half of the people who get an epidural don't even realize that they had a catheter because they didn't feel it going in. I had read so much about, like, peanut balls to help you dilate, and I was like, bring me a peanut ball. I'm gonna lay here and I'm gonna take a nap because I was exhausted. I had been awake for like 24 hours. So they brought in a peanut ball. I remember this, like, guy nurse came in because they were like, all right, we need help moving her to the side. Because I'm, like, huge belly, my legs are dead weight, like, so, like, there's, like, 4 nurses, and then the guy nurse comes in, and they're, like, pulling me onto my side. I just, like, finally took a nap, and I took, like, a 4-hour nap. Keep in mind, I was still at a 4 centimeter dilated. I wake up 4 hours later, and I'm like, okay, can somebody please check if I'm dilated more? Like, I feel like I'm at least, like, a 6. Like, I feel like I've definitely made some progress now. Like, I'm relaxed. Finally, like, the doctors come in, like, 30 minutes later, and they're all like, oh my god, like, you're at a 10. Like, you're fully dilated. She's right here. We need to start pushing. And so everybody starts, like, running around. It was, like, a little bit of chaos because she was literally, like, coming out of me. The doctors and nurses all come in, and I'm like, I did it. Like, you guys said I was gonna have to get a C-section, and look at me. Like, I don't have to get a C-section. And everybody was like, yeah, like, that's great. Like, I'm sorry we scared you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that was really mean. Like, you made me cry for, like, an hour. They told me it was time to start pushing, and I just, like, started throwing up violently, which I don't know if that was because I was just on so many drugs, and then, like, the adrenaline that kicked in, just, like, I just got so nauseous. And the whole time I was in labor, actually, I was just, like, puking a lot.
5, 6, okay, 7, 8.
You guys good?
Yeah.
If you need me, I'm right here.
Is Dr. Lynn here? Oh, do you think you can over 4? I think we're about
I'm pushing.
I don't know how to push.
Yeah, about.
Yeah. Took a poop?
Yeah, but I feel like I'm not capable of that type of movement right now.
What, like pushing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Try not to push right now and call the doctor. It will still probably be a few pushes, but it just seems like she's coming nice and fast. Do you want me to grab the mirror?
Is there anything I can see right now?
I mean, yeah. Are you fine with bringing the mirror or I can take a picture? Mama, so can you kind of tell me how you want me to adjust the...
I don't want to look at it for long.
Okay.
So this way?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even see anything.
Okay, do a little push. Okay.
Oh my god, that's insane.
What? You scaring me,
You
don't
can look at it. You can look at it.
Okay,
Wait,
but only
what am
do
I
a little
looking
quick push, okay?
Like-
A little quick push.
Go down to this way.
No.
Okay, that's good. You can see the hair, right?
Yeah,
You see
oh,
the hair?
God.
Hold for a second once you give me your go-to.
We
Oh,
did
God.
it. I'm so sorry for my drama episode.
No. I mean, I know we said the word C-section. Sometimes we gotta just warn people that can happen. And then, of course, sometimes the university hears us and then they're like, okay, time to move things along.
The university-
So I'm glad that you made it.
I know, me too.
So, let's see how this pushing's going. So we just took out her Foley about like 20 minutes ago. Okay. We've only pushed like once and this baby's like right here.
Alright, I'm gonna see where baby's resting between pushes, okay?
Yeah, quite low.
She's right there. So insane.
Okay.
Great job.
So when you feel the next contraction, take a push.
Looks
We'll
like
see.
we're having, are you feeling one? No? Let's try and do
Okay.
a push with this. Take a deep breath
Alright.
in, down behind your legs. And go. 1,
Awesome. Good
3,
job. Good. Keep
4,
going. Keep
5,
going.
little more,
Keep going.
6,
Good.
7, 8,
Awesome.
9, 10. Let it go. Take a deep breath. And push as hard as you can. Elbows out.
Strong push. Good. Go. 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 Go.
3, 4, 5, 6,
Awesome.
7,
Great job.
8,
Good. Keep going.
9,
Keep going.
10. Let it go.
Nice. Great
Strongest
job.
push. Go, go, go.
Good.
1,
Keep going.
2,
Keep going. As strong as you
3,
can.
4,
Good.
5,
Awesome
6,
job.
7, 8,
Good.
9, 10.
Am I
Alright.
pushing right?
You're pushing. You're
Oh,
moving
God.
baby with your pushes. You're pushing
Okay.
exactly right.
I
That's,
can't feel anything.
no, that's a, I mean, that's good. But you're pushing in exactly the right spot.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in savage
I'm so
mode.
glad I got an epidural. This would have been probably so fucking painful otherwise.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
all the baby hormones.
Ah, okay. Can you breathe?
Yeah. So when you're pushing, really push like as hard as you can. Keep all that air in, like you're holding your breath and you're trying to go to the bathroom. Don't let the air out. And then when you push fast again after, if that makes sense. Like try not to wait too long in between.
Is it normal for your head to like shake?
Yeah, that's fine. You just want to kind of like just sit up.
Okay.
You got it.
We're so close.
You got it.
I love you.
I love you more.
Oh, can you put like that I called Dr. Nanas? Maybe like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Okay, it feels like you're having one. Do you feel any urge?
Yeah.
Okay, take a deep breath in.
Hold on. Start over.
Okay, deep breath in. And push 1, 2, 3, 4. Casey, what do you think? 5, 6. Okay. 7.
Keep pushing
A little
out.
bit more. 8, 9, 10. Okay, so she's barely.
Is this her first baby?
Yeah, we barely touched, so.
Where'd she go?
So,
Let's go.
I don't know.
Where's the doctor?
The doctor second.
Do you want me to call her? I feel so much pressure.
She said she'll be right back. Yeah, try to just take deep breaths in.
Feels like she's coming out.
Yeah, because she is. She's ready to come meet
You
you.
got it. Alright, those muscles you're flexing?
Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep pushing with him because she's going to come after like a push.
Yeah. You see those muscles? It's about time to use them. Well, not yet.
Yeah.
After those pushes that you just saw in that clip, She literally shot out of me in like 4 pushes, and I was just dead silent. And I remember like they were like, okay, time to push, and I'm like, I literally don't know how to push right now. Like, I can't feel anything. I have no idea what's going on. And they're like, you're so great at pushing, like you're doing a great job. And I was like, really? Like, I'm like feel like I'm not doing anything. She came out and she was perfectly healthy. They put her on my chest and she immediately like lifted her head, and everybody was like, we've never seen a baby like so strong when they first came out. She was just always meant to be like a bodybuilder or something. I don't know. But it was such a great experience, and like I say now, she's getting hungry. What are you so fussy for? What are you so fussy for? I say now, like, I want to give birth again just because it was such a beautiful experience. I know it hurt. I'm not going to say it didn't hurt, but it was nowhere near the level of, like, pain. Just the contractions. I obviously don't know what it feels like to actually deliver without an epidural, but the contractions, like, were not as bad as I expected them to be. They were definitely bearable, and I think if I had another baby, I would try again with no epidural. I hope you guys that like found this video interesting. It was such an amazing day, like literally the best day of my whole entire life. It was so beautiful, and like I hope anybody who's pregnant now just kind of looks forward to their birth and doesn't find it really scary. I was so scared, but like looking back, it was just such a beautiful experience, and I'm have the most beautiful baby because of it. If you are about to give birth, good luck. I'd love to hear you guys' experiences down below, or if you just think these are fun to watch like I used to. You're not alone, girl. Or guys, like, I loved it, and you know, I would love to hear any video suggestions you guys have down below. I'm loving making these videos, and I'd love to hear any feedback from you guys in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. There will definitely be a ton of exciting content coming out. My boyfriend's gonna start filming with me soon, so we'll have cool kind of like family vlogs and some, I don't know, challenges or something fun coming up soon. So yeah, share this video with anybody you think might enjoy it, and thanks again for watching. Say bye, Ziah!